guys know I eat plant-based now.
You guys know I eat plant-based now. Kim, that's awesome. Kylie, what are you doing?
I don't just drink bone broth in the morning. I do sip on bone broth all day. So I avoid late night cravings because I lock myself in my bedroom and I turn on my TV. I get really
Isn't it sad that we need to lock ourselves in our bedrooms to avoid nutrition? Hey, free woman. Welcome back to the Fruitful channel. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. Hit the bell icon because YouTube is unlikely to send my videos to you otherwise. So today's video is a response to everything Kylie Jenner eats in a day, food diaries, bite-size, Harper's BAZAAR. So that video is number 29 on trending. It's had over 1.4 million views, mostly from young women, okay? So whatever she's putting out there, they are going to copy. They're going to be influenced because she is an influencer. So a lot of women are going to be basing their diets on what Kylie Jenner eats because, you know, they want to look like her, they want the same status, all of that stuff. So keep that in mind. So before going forward, make sure you give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. You can actually thumbs down it. It's okay. All right. But just do something if you want to see more of these videos. All right. Let's get straight into it. Everything Kylie Jenner eats. Woo. Let's have a look, shall we?
I am Kylie Jenner and this is everything I eat in a day.
Yes, we know Kylie Jenner. She doesn't need much introduction, does she?
If there was like a face of hangry, that it would be me. I would be the face of hangry. And Stormy.
Okay, so she's first up telling us that she is not getting enough carbohydrates. She's not getting probably enough calories in general. Okay, so she is having this, she is like literally the face of hangry, that she said it herself. So that is just firstly telling us that she's not getting enough good, proper nutrition to her cells, to the trillions of her cells. So she's always hungry.
So the first thing I eat or drink.
Before we go on, like I mean, she's only 22. I am actually shocked that how mature she looks for 22, and it's because of all this surgery. You know, it really saddens me to see these girls just really, you know, pumping up the lips, just, you know, really having so much surgery on their faces that by the time they're my age, by the time they're 40, they're going to be looking like they're sucking on a lemon all day, like permanently sucking on a lemon or permanently like, you know, frozen, afraid. You know, if they stop doing the procedures too, their whole face is just going to drop, you know, like it's sad. And I talk about it a lot in my Naked Lunchbox. It's kind of a part memoir if you want to check that out. But yeah, that's the first thing I've noticed. She looks so different. If you have a look, you know, Kylie Jenner without makeup, without surgery, she looks like a totally different person. And a lot of you might be like, oh, she looks better. It's just because you're culturally conditioned to think a certain look is better. That's just brainwashing. That's not actually truth.
Drink when I wake up is probably my bone broth. It's
Oh!
mixed with like lavender.
She has bone broth first thing in the morning. Kylie, what are you doing? She's having literally bone broth. It's just like scrapings off a slaughterhouse floor into her body, into a delicate digestive system first thing in the morning, full of salt. It's absolutely full of salt. It's literally spinal cords, knees, knuckles, skulls, connective tissue that has been scraped off the slaughterhouse floor, off the kill floor, and boiled up and then made into this bone broth that she's drinking. So when it comes to taking bone broth, Kylie is obviously doing this for anti-aging collagen reasons, which is ridiculous, of course, as it doesn't work. I made a video in the past talking more about this, and I'll link it below. I mean, we don't even absorb the collagen we ingest whole. So it's impossible for animal collagen to magically restore our own collagen. It just doesn't work that way. It's also a really poor source of amino acids. Fruit, on the other hand, is number one for vitamin C, which plays a major role in the production of collagen. So eat more fruit, not bone broth. Don't waste your money, girls. Bone broth is disgusting, cruel, and it simply does not work. Look, a better alternative, Kylie. Like, oh shit, my banana just, half of it fell, splattered on the floor. is bananas, of course. I'm getting in the bananas right now because fructose is so important. I just woke up and it's important to get fructose to your brain and to your cells. Fructose is so important, and I'm going to be doing a video all about it. Fruit sugar, at one point, I've got a lot of videos to do, but this is really, really important. So you avoid things like this. This is not food. This is not meant to be in the human body. It is really actually quite dangerous, which we'll talk about more later on. But I have a whole lot of water. I would have about 1 liter water, and then I would have some bananas. If I'm going somewhere, I might just have one banana and go and do some exercise. But getting that sugar in is important, and there's no like good glucose in bone broth.
And lemon, or my celery juice. So I have like a whole drawer in my refrigerator of just raw celery.
Okay, so she's into the celery juice as well, and you know how I feel. It is a plant food, so I'm like, that's great, okay? But it is juice, it is devoid of fiber, and it's never better to juice a food, a vegetable or a fruit, instead of actually eating the whole food, because it regulates, it regulates the amount of glucose that goes into the bloodstream. It regulates the rate at which it goes into your bloodstream. So it's important to actually have the fiber. When it comes to celery juice, it's not going to give you a lot of energy. It's just not. Okay, there's a lot of hype around it, but it's more so the fact that people are like, oh, it's healing me and everything. It's like, well, you're virtually having no calories in that moment. It doesn't heal your body. Yes, it provides vitamins and minerals, which is healthy for your body. Yes, it is. And a small amount of energy. But it's your body healing your body. Remember that. It's not some miraculous juice. It's always better that you have the whole food.
I will juice it fresh. I am a coffee and a tea drinker.
I am not surprised that she is a coffee and tea drinker. Like she said, she's always hangry, so she's not getting enough carbohydrates. And we know what that means. When someone has caffeine in their diet, it means their diet is failing them. It's the first sign of a failing diet, is having caffeine. So don't take dietary advice of anyone who is drinking coffee, because they're obviously not eating an adequate diet. So she's having coffee, she's having caffeine because she's not getting enough glucose, carbohydrates, fructose to the brain.
Try to cut back a little bit. But I love...
So she's trying to cut back as well. And think about it. Why would you be cutting back? Everyone's trying to cut back on caffeine because it's not good for you. Okay? It's not meant to be in your body. That's why everyone's trying to cut back or cut it out completely. By the way, when it comes to coffee, I have in my book apple pie hug. So this is dates, warming spices, cinnamon. It is the best substitute for coffee. Honestly, it is delicious, and you will forget about coffee. Within like a day or two, you will forget about coffee if you substitute it with this apple pie hug. Okay, so I just wanted to say that, and if you want to check out my ebook, definitely check it out. The link is in the description below, or you can get a physical book on Amazon. This is a life-changing lifestyle, and I have lost over 20 kilos, 40 pounds following this lifestyle. And I've kept my weight off for over 10 years now. So the proof is in the banana pudding. Mother of carbs here, getting it in, getting the results, and you can too.
Vanilla iced latte with oat milk.
Oat milk?
That's my jam. Stormy and I usually eat breakfast together. She likes fruit, blueberries. She loves turkey bacon.
She loves fruit. That is great. That is so good. Abby, not so sharp, should maybe take some notes here. She loves fruit, but then the turkey bacon. Feeding a child, essentially a baby, like turkey bacon is just like so irresponsible.
Actually, the other night, I always wonder, what does this little girl dream about? And we were sleeping. She woke up out of her sleep and said, bagel. And I was like, is she awake right now? And I looked over, dead asleep, dreaming about bagels.
And bagel is a high carbohydrate food, and babies and toddlers need so much glucose and fructose to their brain. It's very, very important during their growing years, their formative years.
A typical lunch for me, I can't eat the same thing every day, but I do love like lemon chicken with vegetables.
Oh no. The dead bird flesh had to make an appearance, didn't it? I can't believe how many confused and lost frugivores there are in the world that think eating the flesh from a dead bird is healthy. or is even a thing that humans should be doing. It's not meant to go in our digestive system. And two reasons in particular are the fact that it has no carbohydrate, it has no fiber, and we have this long intestinal tract that requires this. So it doesn't make any sense at all. And when you eat chicken that has dead bird, that has no fiber, it doesn't even fill the stomach. It's important to fill our stomach so we actually stretch the stomach wall, and the stomach receptors send a signal to the brain to stop eating. And that's the beauty of fruits and vegetables, because they're full of fiber, they're full of fructose and glucose and water, so they distend the stomach wall for far less calories. So if you're going to eat the chicken, it's going to take so many more calories to distend the stomach wall. Think about it. To distend that sac, it's going to take so many more calories because it has no fiber. It doesn't have the bulk that fruits and vegetables have. This is a very important factor in satiation, in that stop eating signal. And carbohydrate-rich foods are so good and so important. I'm going to do a video, I think, on that. If you want to see more information about that, definitely let me know in the comments below, or I'll just keep weaving it into these videos.
Sometimes I'll make myself some tacos. Today at the shoot, I ordered a steak burrito and...
Like, why? Why does it have to be cow flesh? Why does it have to be a steak burrito? Why can't she just do plant-based? I was watching Kim Kardashian's fridge tour. Okay, let's go over to there. And she's doing plant-based now. Like, let's check it out. Like, why aren't you hanging out with your sister? Take notes from your sister, Kylie. She's older than you. She's been through more than you. And she realizes that plant-based is the way to go. Of course, vegan is the way to go. But she is calling herself plant-based. And it is a good start. That's for sure. So let's go to Kim Kardashian's fridge tour.
And guys, I have a walk-in refrigerator where we keep all of our fresh organic produce. We are building on the property all organic trees to grow our own vegetables and do all of our own stuff. So
I love how she said trees.
I
love how she said trees. We're growing trees to grow all our vegetables. That's cute.
Our meals. You guys know I eat plant-based now.
You guys know I eat plant-based now. Kim, that's awesome. Kylie, what are you doing?
Look what I have for dinner tonight, guys. Vegan tacos. This is all plant-based.
Look at this. Plant-based tacos. This is great. It's probably a little bit much oil for my liking, but it's fantastic that it is plant-based. Let's go back to Kylie. Kylie, take notes, hang out with your sister more.
Some rice, some enchiladas. I was feeling Mexican food vibes today. It really just depends. Or I mean,
like, Mexican is so easy to have plant-based. It is so easy. In Australia, we have sombreros. You just get a burrito, you get the rice, get the beans, get the sauces, the vegetables, the corn, everything. It's delicious. It's like there's no need to put the tortured flesh of a cow inside the burrito. There's no need, and it's not only cruel, but it's unhealthy for you. So why would you do it? That's what I mean, like, why would you put it in there if it's actually unhealthy, has no fiber, has no carbohydrates, no glucose for your body, and it's just this complicated, like, task of gluconeogenesis to create this new sugar out of this animal flesh. It's like, why do you have to do that?
If we're at a hotel, I always order...
While we're touching you up.
Yeah.
While I'm, sorry guys, we do touch-ups.
While we eat.
While we drink our peach tea, actually. Peach tea.
That's crazy. That's crazy that she is, like, getting touched up in the middle of a, like, 5-minute interview, basically. 10-minute interview, whatever. It's like, why are they trying so hard to present this fake image of her everywhere she goes? It must be exhausting for her. Sure, she puts on a happy face for the camera, but behind the scenes, she must be, like, pissed off. I mean, I would be if someone's touching me all the time and trying to make me look different to what I am, just so I influence girls to buy my makeup and to make me richer and make me look better when I'm just a normal girl underneath. She's just a normal girl. you know, she's very quiet as well. She's actually quite, I think, has this introverted aspect of her, you know, and they're just turning her into this, she's just a slave for the system. You know, she's just making a lot of people money and they're just always following her around, making sure she looks the part to make the money. And it makes me sick. It really does.
Gee, everybody. I will have to admit that I am a big snacker. Barbecue Lays, chili cheese Fritos.
I mean, like, the only reason you're going to be snacking a lot on foods like this, on engineered, you know, junk food like this, is because you aren't getting enough carbohydrates in that moment to your brain. You're not getting enough glucose. You're not getting enough fructose. So I would recommend a substitute for this. Obviously, fruit is always best, okay? Fruit is always best. Potatoes, rice, they are best. But you can have, you know, if I'm feeling a little bit peckish sometimes and I want something that is kind of like corn chips or like these, you know, crisps that are full of fat, I will go for something like crackers. So go to Whole Foods or whatever and find crackers, which have a fraction of the fat and the salt, and it's going to be way, way better for you. You know, this is not optimal, but it's still better than having corn chips, okay?
Extra cheesy goldfish. I just get touched up every few seconds.
I just get touched up every few seconds. I really believe that. Where is my touch-up crew? I don't have a touch-up crew, and like I'm seriously very happy about that because I would probably be like punching faces right now. It's like, you can touch yourself up. This, you know, I'm sweating a bit here, but you can just touch yourself up, you know? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, why are they trying to just put this like fake image of her out there that like she doesn't sweat, her hair never moves, she's like this robot? It's just a sick society, seriously.
I love pomegranate seeds.
Good.
I've always loved pomegranate seeds.
There is some fruits,
I could eat
that's great.
jars of them. Also, I do like to order like just miso soup, like liters of miso soup from from the sushi place.
Miso soup, I used to love it a lot until I read how much sodium it has. It's literally just like this salty, salty, salty thing that is going to retain fluid on your body. So I would avoid it. I would avoid it.
Down the street. Bone broth too. I don't just drink bone broth in the morning. I do sip on bone broth all day. So I'll go
Kylie, what are you doing? She sips on bone broth all day. Is she sponsored by bone broth? There's a bone broth company out there sponsoring. I don't know, but who is giving her advice? Someone very uneducated is giving her nutritional advice. I mean, like, if you want to have bone broth, okay, do the experiment yourself. Go and scrape up some roadkill. You see some roadkill, scrape it off the ground, boil it up for like half a day because that's how long it takes. Boil it up and see if you can survive the smell of it before you eat it. See if you can even survive the smell, because I doubt you can. Robin has done this. Robin has done this in the past. Before he was vegan, he would cook up bone broth. I think he only did it once because it was so disgusting. You know, then compare it to sourdough bread, how that smells when it's cooking. This is a sign from our senses, okay? Don't eat the carcass. Don't drink the carcass. Okay, that's what the brain is saying, like, no, that is not food. Okay, this is a sign. And you got to remember, it is really high in sodium, really high in salt, so your body is going to retain fluid in order to dilute that pollution. The answer to pollution in the body is dilution. So you're going to hold that extra water weight, you're going to actually look bigger than you have to. So obviously that is counterproductive of her goals of probably losing weight, and also the fact that it's going to be high in lead because the bones are where the lead is stored. So if you're cooking up a whole lot of bones, you are going to be getting a big whack of lead into your body, and there is no safe amount of lead, of heavy metals, lead, in your body. This is very important. It's toxic. You're ingesting something toxic. It's like, just eat some freaking bananas. Eat some oats. Eat some rice. Eat some potatoes. What are you doing?
through probably like 2 jars like this big.
That's a lot of sodium.
Bone broth a day.
Whoa.
I am either cooking probably for Stormy. Or
Does she really cook though? She would probably have like 5 maids. Maybe she does, but yeah, she probably wants to feel normal in some way.
and myself, or I'm somewhere eating sushi. For sure, I eat sushi probably way too much.
No, but this is the thing. Okay, so yes, if you're having raw fish like sashimi, like she probably is with her sushi, with her nori, and with the rice, this is a big risk for parasites. Seriously, this is a very big risk. She is probably riddled with parasites. I'm not kidding. And I'm not trying to put her down or anything like that. This is a fact, okay? Your risk for parasitic infection is really, really high eating raw fish. So just leave the raw fish out, okay? You still may get some contamination, like cross-contamination if you eat at sushi places plant-based, but you're reducing your risk so much when you take out that raw fish. Don't eat fish. There are so many reasons not to eat fish. Obviously, they're animals, and animal flesh is not meant to be in the human frugivore organism, but the fact that the parasitic infection risk is super high, don't do it. Don't risk it. Kylie, I'm going to put in an image of the amount of sushi that I have that is plant-based that I make myself. It's a mountain. You know, you can eat as much as you want of sushi. You can. I'm here to tell you, you can, and I do, because it is rice. It is very low in fat, high in carbohydrates. Your brain knows how to convert it to glucose very efficiently. Okay, so don't worry about overeating on plant-based sushi. It's okay.
Sashimi, yellowtail sashimi, white sashimi, albacore crispy onion, yellowtail jalapeno.
She must have very high levels of heavy metals in her body. You know, she's eating a lot of big fish, which have high levels of mercury, and also lead from the bone broth. Like, she's young now, so you may not see it in her appearance, and she also has a lot of makeup. She has a lot of surgery, so things are not always as they appear. People have more problems than they are going to admit, especially publicly if you are Kylie Jenner. So the amount of health issues that she's probably being challenged with right now at even 22 is probably quite significant. And it will increase exponentially, you know, the more that she eats this way. So Kylie, you got to be thinking about that. All right. And I haven't worn makeup for 2 years. So you're seeing my bare face, you know, without any makeup. If I wore makeup, sure, I could look totally different. But I don't believe in that unethical lifestyle anymore and supporting that. Okay. I want to present myself to you. I want you to be communicating with me, not have a layer between us.
I love white wine, Pinot Grigio, or just straight 42 shots. Like it.
So let me just let you in on a little bit of a secret here. Alcohol is carbohydrates, almost pure carbohydrates. Okay, pure sugar. So when you're reducing your carbohydrate intake, you know, you're trying to cut carbs and you're having alcohol, it's like, you know, you're just getting the carbohydrates anyway. I mean, I remember when my dad used to have 10 to 12 cans of Coke. Basically, it was his cola every day. He was working hard on the farm. He would have that many cans of soda and he was ripped as anything because it isn't fattening, okay? It has fructose and glucose in these sodas, okay? It has in these sodas, and it was just fueling his work. It's not healthy, like, to have it in that form. Obviously, it's bad. The carbonic acid for your teeth is not good, but it's not the sugar that is the problem. But the glucose and the fructose should come with fiber. That is important. But I'm just illustrating the point that carbs are not making people fat. You know, alcohol isn't making people fat. Soda isn't making people fat because it is pure carbohydrates, essentially.
I avoid late night cravings because I lock myself in my bedroom and I turn on my TV. I get
Isn't
really
it sad that we need to lock ourselves in our bedrooms to avoid nutrition, to avoid our food, to stop eating? You know, this is not a healthy relationship with food. We should have a healthy relationship with food where we can eat it freely. And we don't feel like, you know, we have to restrict ourselves from it, lock ourselves away. It's like the enemy. It's like, oh no, I can't control myself around you. You're so addictive. That's this isn't healthy. Okay, so this is the first point I want to make about this. She should have a healthier relationship with food, and she would if she was nourishing herself correctly.
Comfortable, and I pre-slice an apple by my bed.
One apple.
Since I'm really comfortable, I'll be too lazy probably to go down to the kitchen. So my only choice is this apple. So that is how I swerve my late night cravings.
See, this discipline only lasts so long, and then you just end up binging out. But if you want to avoid the binges, then you have to eat higher carbohydrate food. I sound like a broken record. I know that, and I always will until you get it. Okay? Until you start implementing this in your life and realizing that humans run on glucose and fructose. Okay? Fructose, fruit sugar. Because this is how we're designed. This is how we thrive. We don't have a digestive system like a carnivore, like a cat, or like the big cats, the lions. We don't have that digestive system. So when we feed ourselves like a carnivore or like an omnivore, we begin to experience problems. We have to lock ourselves away from food. We have all these cravings because we're not nourishing ourselves correctly. We're not getting enough brain fuel. This is important to remember. So when you eat close to how you're meant to eat, and Raw Till 4 is a really good example of that, when you eat a high carb, high fruit diet, it's going to satisfy your needs the most, and you're going to feel way, way more satisfied if you eat enough calories, and you're not going to have to use this discipline all the time to stay away from food. So that is my video for today. The roundup of her diet. It is obviously lacking in carbohydrates, lacking in fruit. You can see that it is lacking in fruit. Okay, that's why she has to lock herself away from food. That's why she always has to use discipline to stay away from eating more, because the brain is like, hang on, we're not done yet. I'm not done yet. I want more fructose. I want more glucose. And that's why the brain is like trying to send you to eat more. Okay, so having a lock on the fridge, having a lock on your door eventually just does not work. So the bone broth, obviously, this is dangerous for her to consume this. It's not only disgusting, just, skeletal tissue and skulls and like knees and wrists and stuff like that. Not only is it disgusting and cruel, but it's very unhealthy because of the sodium levels, because of the fact that the lead stores in the bones. So it's unsafe to have this. Also, the parasitic risk by having the sushi is very, very high. Take out the raw fish. Take it out. It is not hard. It is not satisfying to eat raw fish, and it is high in mercury and other heavy metals. When it comes to the fact that she's having In-N-Out burger as a cheat meal, I'm not surprised, but please just have plant-based burgers. You live in LA, you can just get it made for you, sent to you. There's even fast food plant-based places in LA. And the coffee, she's trying to get off it. Try that recipe from my book. It will work to cut out your coffee cravings if, throughout the day you keep the amount of carbohydrates you're eating coming in. All right, so that is my video on Kylie Jenner, everything Kylie Jenner eats in a day. Let me know in the comments below who you want me to react to next. And yeah, Kylie, follow Kim Kardashian, follow your sister. Your big sister is on the right track so far. All right, don't forget to fruit yourself. I'll see you next video.